Hey everyone, Zach here. I just wanted to upload a video here to the channel. I'll essentially giving y'all an update of everything that's happened since Sadie. So just to give people some background about what happened. This in itself is a weird thing. My daughter, Sadie DeRose, she died in a house fire in February. And this was an event that was on the news, and I posted about it on Twitter, and it just, it was the most impactful event to ever happen in my life. I'll say it that way. I hope it will always be the most impactful. I can't take any more bad shit. Let's just leave it at that. But it is something that was new to me because, at least here in my hometown, for months after the events, I would be approached in public, and I always welcomed this. But just because it felt nice to be seen. So, for months after this, I would be approached by people in town just to, give me their condolences and just say some things. And I always appreciated that. So, but I got to the point where when people would have come up to me, I would assume they would talk to me about Sadie, and that wasn't always the case. This was always a weird kind of interaction, but that's all right. But I wanted to give everyone an update, just because we've been kind of more in the public eye, both kind of in the tech side of Twitter, the tech side of the internet, and also just here locally. So I actually just pulled up to my house, and you can see this is the house that we are living in. My neighbor's mowing grass over there, and over there, just over the hill, that's the house that burnt down. Now, I haven't had time or funds to rebuild that house. The plan I came up with when everything happened was to take, the finances we had to put this trailer up and keep that house over there. And well, the plan is at some point, and I don't think this is coming in the next 5 years even, is to rebuild on that spot right there. I think I'm going to have to tear the whole house down. There's pieces of it that weren't too touched by the fire, but just talking with the architects about kind of plans I might have in store, it's unlikely that would work well with the layout. So I'm taking my dogs out for a walk now. So over there is Littlefoot. Oh, we got Jax and Watson. Jax is the black one. Watson is a golden retriever. So this is our little pack over here. Now the road we're going down is actually the same one. If you've seen the video of the fire truck coming over the hill, it was the same path that fire truck was going down. It was interesting because, in addition to the view that you can see in that video from the fire truck, I could never figure out if I was behind the one there. I think I must have been the one behind the one that was taking a video from the dash cam. I was unfortunately, right behind that truck. And so I saw, like, what everyone saw on the news was essentially what I saw too. There was already another truck here, as I recall. And so they parked right about where we're coming to. And so I had been coming home that night. The boys had been babysitting my girls. And, I had seen a couple miles out the fire truck, the ambulance is coming this way. At first I thought that, oh no, the neighbors Must be something wrong with them. There must have been something happening. And I saw them go down towards my house. My heart dropped. I could kind of smell smoke, but it was when I came over the hill right over there that I saw it. My heart just dropped to my knees. I must have been right about here. You can see there's still a divot here where I think one of the fire trucks was. They were kind of anchored in, so I think that was the divot. Not that, I'm not about that at all. But I must have been right behind them here. I remember I even left my car in drive as I came running out because I was coming out alone. Now right over there was where my children were, all of them but Sadie. So we had 5 children in the house that night. I had 5 children in the house that night. And 4 of them made it out. My boys were heroes. They brought out their 2 sisters and the 2 dogs, Littlefoot and Jax, that you saw there. I couldn't get to Sadie because of the way the room was laid out, the way that some of the doors were locked, unfortunately. But they had moved Sadie to what was my room, which was right next to the kitchen where the fire had started. And they could never get to her. When I was here, actually, Eli was trying around back with a sledgehammer to get her out. And that's where the firemen were able to get in. I'll show you that in a second. Right here, it's all overgrown right now, but right here, where I fell to my knees, I thought Sadie was gone. I thought she was lost, dead in the fire. And right as I dropped to my knees was right about when, running, sprinting around the side of the house, around those trees, a policeman came running out with Sadie in his arms. Now, I think I've messaged that man on social media since and thanked him. That was really one of the biggest gifts I could have gotten, was just being able to have Sadie, just being able to hold her. And essentially that she didn't die alone and scared in the fire. Instead, she died in the hospital. What the neighbors, what the nurses told us was that she could probably hear us through most of it. Hey y'all, it's my daughter and one of their friends. They're over for the weekend. They're playing on the hay over there. Dogs will probably go out and join them. Oh, there he goes. He jumped up there. Y'all having fun? So back here, where they were able to get into the house, this is where Eli was trying to break down the window to get to Sadie with the, with the sledgehammer. I believe, I wasn't here for this part, but I believe this is where they went in to get her. I attempted to go get her. My shirt off, actually. I don't remember taking my shirt off, but I believe what I was doing was trying to tie it around my face so I could try to jump in there. This is where Sadie was sleeping, right there in the bed. I was actually, when I was attempting to go into the house, it's when the police had restrained me, actually, to take me there to the front of the house where I showed you, where I was kneeling down. And as soon as it was crazy timing, as soon as I hit my knees, I believe I had the intention of praying. A lot of that's fuzzy, but I believe I had the intention of praying. Before I could even get anything out, that's when the policeman came running around the side with Sadie, his arms. So here's the swing. They used to always swinging. And throw some pictures up of that. And over here, this is the view. This is the trail we always go down for our walks, or we used to. So I believe right there, I've got a picture of Sadie. I think it was from just a couple of days before the day of the fire. I was just taking her down on a walk with the dogs. We did have Watson back then. Watson was a present, actually. someone who had heard about the fire, a breeder. But we did have a little white dog named Lily, and Lily died in the fire as well. It was one of those things I never was really able to process, just with everything else going on. So in the days since the fire, at first we were in Georgia for the burn unit there. It was the best place. That was the best chance we could give to Sadie. So after the policeman was able to save her from the house, we brought her to Prisma Hospital there in Seneca, right by where my gym was at, actually. And then from there, they helicoptered her to Georgia for the burn unit. We were there for several days. I thought there was maybe a chance we could save her in some way. She would still be, she was still breathing. She still had a heartbeat. I think she was breathing by herself. I actually don't know. That she was obviously on machines to help her with a lot of that stuff. But as soon as we got to the Georgia hospital, the doctors made it pretty clear there, and I appreciated him for that. He pretty much told us there's very little chance that she is going to survive, and if she did show any signs of recovering, one of the first things they would have to do was amputate her arms and legs, which was like a very sobering thought, a very sobering understanding. Thankfully, my grandpa is a doctor, and he was able to get on the phone with me and kind of explain a lot of stuff about what I was going through. My grandpa actually lost a son himself. I mentioned in a lot of my writings. It was a formative thing for me growing up, was losing my Uncle Kevin when I was I think I was 2 years old. Having memories of him, but not really knowing him that well, just being so young. But also just seeing how the whole family reacted to all that stuff. So in some ways I've been kind of primed for this. But yeah. In the days that followed after, the time in the hospital, which ultimately culminated with, she didn't get better. At some point they had determined that, blood had stopped flowing to her brain. And that night, the night that happened was pretty much, the day that she died, as I understand, and she wasn't able to hear us anymore. But I was there in the room when that must have happened. I was just sleeping next to her. I think her mama was there, was able to be there too for that night. And that next day, she was, I don't know if she heard or not, because this would have been after the blood had stopped flowing to her brain. This is where we said our goodbyes in the room. The girls sang, put on Baby Shark. That was her favorite song. So we'd sing Baby Shark as a family, and then said our goodbyes. And there's just so many kindnesses, so many little kindnesses with all that. Her not dying alone in the fire, dying with us, haven't been able to have that moment with her. Her hair was still there. We were able to say our goodbyes. I was able to have, I was able to stroke her hair. I was able to get somewhere in the house. I've got to unpack it. I got so much stuff, so many memories in there. I was just going to figure out what to do with. But yeah, I've got a little lock of her hair somewhere in the house. Make sure I frame that and put it up on the wall or something. Oh, sorry, just need a second. All right. So after that, we had the night of the organ donation. I'll see if I can find some footage of that to put up on the video, but we did that, and after the organ donation, we came back home. This is where I realized how big, I guess, the story had gotten, at least in my hometown. For the first week after we were home, I couldn't go anywhere without people noticing me, that was a little too much. But I was I was always really appreciative of everyone who could come up to us. But it was just weird being in a place where, all of a sudden people knew me. And not necessarily for the best thing. But I was real grateful for a lot of that too. A lot of people stepped up, and so many donations we had received, like both monetary and just in the form of, clothes and things we'd need, all kinds of stuff like that. So for a while, and our insurance company was also really great. The insurance for the house, for the fire, and I should mention too, I thought the health insurance and the health bills from everything with Sadie's death was going to be a nightmare. People we had talked on the phone to about consultating for this type of thing had said like we would be potentially facing bills of like millions of dollars, which I didn't have. So I was kind of prepared for that, and every experience I've had in the past with healthcare, health insurance has always been a mess. You just never know, how many bills you're going to get, when they're going to come, where they're going to come, and how much they're going to be for. So I thought it was going to be like a year of like managing all that kind of stuff and trying to figure out what we could. For the most part, though, a lot of people just forgave Sadie's stuff immediately, without us even having to ask. I guess they had heard about what had happened, which was really, really grateful for. Jackson's falling a little bit too far behind. Let me beep him in. Boy. Come on now. Little Watson. A good boy. Good boys. Alright. I've been expecting huge bills to come in, and that just wasn't the case. So with her being an organ donor, it was supposed to be the case that everything after the point of where she had signed up for organ donation would have been forgiven, all the medical bills. But from what we could tell, everything had been forgiven. Like from the time that the people that come to the house, from the ambulance ride, everything from there, the helicopter ride, all the care she received at Prisma, all the care she received at the burn center, which was a really good, really big blessing. Very kind. So after that, we had funds to work with in terms of insurance money that we had to be used for like temporary housing, which actually would have been nicer to have that money to do with whatever I wanted. But it was kind of nice just to be able to say, hey, we got to use this for housing, so might as well get Airbnbs or whatever. So we were in one cabin for about a month, and then we moved to someplace more on the lake. And we were there for another 2 months. And then we actually went through the fire insurance, and they found us a temporary home where we had the lease and the deposit and all that. So, and we had been there until October. I believe we moved out early October. It was right after the big storm that had come through here. That's essentially the last 9 months. In rapid review, we could just hand wave over a lot of that. There's a lot of, priority being on the children. Also, I don't want to speak too much on this part, but I had been making the transition to being a single dad for about 6 months before, the incident with Sadie happened. Those were very hard 6 months. They were 6 months I was really grateful to have. I have a lot of pictures of Sadie from that period and just a lot of time spent with her. So that was a transition period in my life. The last 9 months have been even more of a transition period. Just figuring out how to do all that kind of stuff. And, figuring out a place to live, figuring out a lot of logistic stuff. My priorities have been my other children. This is a top priority. Making sure they had good friends, making sure they were taken care of, trying to do as much, essentially spoiling them, but trying to do as much special stuff as I could for them, given what we'd all been going through. And for myself, biggest goal was just, I really didn't have capacity for a lot. But my biggest thing had been to try to get healthy, which I had a goal, like a weight goal, to have lost a significant amount of weight by the anniversary of Sadie's day. So I believe it was February 19th. So that was the day. That was not the day that she died officially, according to the records. That was the day that we were told the blood to her brain had stopped. That was when, that for me, that was the end. That was her day. So yeah, I didn't really know what I was doing, really. I was just trying to make sure I got to the gym, did some things productive most days. Did a lot of writing, obviously a lot of logistics stuff, just with figuring out a housing, taking care of the kids and all that kind of stuff. My work was incredibly understanding, which I was super grateful for too. And I was able to kind of transition back into being into stuff. I'm essentially back full time now. I'm still not as productive as I'd like to be, but I think I'm getting there. Which that's a whole other thing. But I'll figure that out. I was super grateful for everything there. So anyways, I wanted to make this video mainly because at this point, I see this as essentially settled in. I still got a lot of unboxing to do, a lot of moving in to do at the new house here. But we're figuring all that stuff out and figuring out everything with work too. So one of the things I wanted to just update folks on is I'm going to start streaming again here, starting next week, starting on Monday. So I'll be streaming, just building some projects I've been wanting to go through, and we'll see how that goes. If it goes well, great, we'll keep doing it. I'm going to be, obviously staying with NX. We have been doing a lot of streams there. If you're, know me from Facebook or know me from around town, you probably have seen those updates going out. Just whenever we do new updates or new releases, or some of the live streams I've been working on. But yeah, so from here on out, should be able to expect to see me just doing some more casual streaming, going through some projects, coding projects to be specific. And we'll see how it goes. I want to make stuff that people want to listen to and want to go through. And, I think I'm still trying to figure out how to bring what I have to offer to the table. So I feel like I have, at this point in life, a lot of experiences, I guess you could say. A lot of perspective. I think especially during that whole time period, I was gifted with having an extraordinary sense of perspective. And just, in general, almost unfair amount of strength and grace I was given during that time. And I've been trying to figure out what to do about that. So I'm not really sure what that looks like yet. But I think I've got something to bring to the table, I guess. Just in terms of what I've been able to go through and come out the other side on, I guess. I don't know. I'm not articulating what I'm trying to say very well. But yeah, I just wanted to give a big thank you to so many people who have been there through all of it, from my neighbors, you can see over there, and Mr. Tom down the way. It was essentially his land we saw from a lot of that walk. And he lets me walk the dogs on and take the kids down on. Now, obviously, to my best friend Jeff Cross. Jeff was there. He flew down as soon as he heard he was there in the hospital, so he was able to hear his voice. My kids playing on the... Go, you can go. Come on, buddy. Well, just in general, I'm so lucky. I feel like it's wild to me that I was able to still have this house, still be able to, that house right there, the blue one. Those are my neighbors down there, but to be able to have the house, keep the house. And like, it was very important to me to be able to keep that land in the family and be able to try to build on it at some point. That's where I want my last house to be, which is a sobering thought. I was able to hang on to it for now. Hopefully at some point I'll be able to rebuild. Yeah. Super thankful, like I was saying, super thankful to Jeff Cross and everyone at NX, my company here. I was actually wearing this very hoodie the night of the fire. Everyone had been awesome there. Looking forward to contributing there and being more impactful hopefully soon. They had sent so many presents here too for Sadie, things I got to unpack still, but they had named a star after her, and also, I don't know, they didn't know about this, but a common gift of mine to give was like a rose, given my last name. So they actually gave us a yellow rose, which was Sadie's favorite color. So that was big. And a bunch of stuff from the hospital, to all the nurses that were taking care of her and all the doctors, all the healthcare people. Super grateful for them. To everyone in town, everyone online that reached out, it was huge. So many people, and so many things that kind of just broke my heart, just in terms of making me feel like I was seen. It's really important to me at the time. So thanks to everyone for that. I know I'm missing so many people here. I should say a special thank you to my church at the time, Seneca Baptist. And Ryan Perry, the pastor, he was very influential for me during that time. They did Sadie's funeral for free. They helped me find a place to bury her. They helped me find like the gravestone and all those things, and to the funeral home, and to the place where she's buried. They had all essentially given us all of their services for free. Which the gesture of it alone was just flooring. So, all things to be super grateful for sure. So I think I'll wrap it up with that. The biggest thing is just gratitude for everyone. Letting people know I'll be streaming again. Hopefully that goes well. If you want to join in, I'd love to have y'all. And just in the next chapter, hopefully rebuilding that house and figuring things out. So, yeah, see y'all. Come on. Go on up. Good boy. Watson, you want to get up? Watson can't get up by himself. Watson, you want to get up there?
Watson, thank you.
Just for YouTube.
Thank you, Dad.
You're welcome.
There was some parachuting.
Yeah, I saw
Dad,
it.
we keep on here.
Yes.
What's that? Do you think this would be... Watson?